Vanessa Campbell, Mental Wellbeing and Isolation, subtitled How to Keep Mentally Well During Times of Feeling Isolated, Episode 96, Alternative Health Tools Podcast.
Welcome to Alternative Health Tools, and I'm your host, Lisa Victoria. And today we're talking about crisis or opportunity in the times of self-isolation. So right at the minute, whilst we're recording this episode, we're in the midst of the coronavirus. So what we're doing is we're bringing to you today some top tips on how to manage self-isolating and what can you do to make the best out of your day for both your mental and physical and emotional well-being. And today I am joined by the lovely Vanessa Campbell, and she is a professional performer, also an online entrepreneur and network marketing professional. And she has built her own successful online business whilst having a full-time career. So welcome, Vanessa. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited.
Oh, you're very welcome. So today we're going to be sharing some top tips on how we can manage self-isolation and how we can get the best out of this period of time. So where shall we start?
Well, I would actually say starting with top tips straight away is I would always recommend for people to have a schedule.
Okay.
When people, now we've been put in a situation where we're at home, and of course, still lots of people are either working from home. Some people are, in the front line of care, so they're still having to work. Mm-hmm. But for most people, that kind of transition of being isolated in their homes, and despite having maybe work to do, that kind of schedule that we have during normal life tends to go out the window. And what I have found is so important to have a schedule even when we are indoors. It just kind of creates, time blocking our time. And it just gives us that, it allows us to be so much more productive in our days. And it gives us a sense of purpose and kind of keeps us on track with everything. I know for myself firsthand, if I decide not to have a, some days, not to have a schedule, I do find that I am the most lethargic at the end of those days. I feel deflated. I feel, it has so linked to, I think, someone's mental well-being, psychological well-being. So that's what I would recommend. Definitely have a schedule, get up early and have a plan, because that will definitely nurture feelings of accomplishment, and we'll just get more done, basically.
So if someone's thinking, well, what do I do with my day? How, just as an example, how have you adapted your day to now being in isolation? Have you changed your plan, or have you kept certain parts of your routine? What does that look like now?
Yeah, so I've kept certain aspects, definitely. So despite being very appealing to stay in bed, I don't. So getting up early every morning, and actually, and this is probably the second point, is to have a very specific routine that you do in the morning. Mm-hmm. So there's an amazing book by an author called Hal Elrod called The Miracle Morning.
Okay.
And I highly recommend everybody listening to this or watching this to get that book. It absolutely, I remember reading it a few years ago, and it really did make such a difference to my life. And the whole concept is, setting your morning routine in terms of supporting your body, mind, and soul. How we start our day can make such a difference to the quality of the day that we have. And so even before this time that we're experiencing right now, I had what we call a miracle morning, and that hasn't changed. And so for people that on the call as well that have no idea what a miracle morning is. It's basically, well, in the book, he recommends 7 different types of activity that are designed to support and empower body, mind, and soul. So, for example, I'll share with you my miracle morning. So that includes reading 10 pages of an inspiring, empowering personal development book. Meditating is also something that I think in now more than ever is so important for people to maybe try out. If previously people have maybe, you might be a pro at meditating, but maybe a lot of people have never entertained the idea of meditation. And I think right now it's such a great opportunity to maybe look into it. For me, meditation has so many positives that it can bring to my well-being, my inner world, kind of how grounded I am, how present I can be during my days. So yes, meditation.
And on that meditation point, it's so pertinent right now because what I'm sharing with all my clients as a health coach is that actually by meditating, it can upregulate your immune system, which is so, so important right now. And they did a study in America and they took a number of people and what they asked them to do was meditate 3 times a day for 10 minutes at each interval. So just 30 minutes a day. And after 4 days, they showed that they had upregulated their immune system by 50%.
Wow.
Which is just mind-blowing. So anyone out there who is worried about their mental health at the minute, or even if it's just upregulating their immune system, then meditation is 100%, beneficial for you right now. So I just wanted to add that. Yeah, it's a really, really important point. And 10 minutes, 3 times a day, we can all find 10 minutes, can't we?
Yeah, completely. And that is an amazing statistic right there. I mean,
isn't it just?
The benefits are just, they just go on and on, don't they? When it comes to meditation. Yeah. And I think sometimes I know for me, when I started looking at meditation, I maybe resisted the idea because I possibly, sometimes when we don't know about something, it kind of, we're not sure where to start, and that can feel a little bit scary.
Yeah.
And it can feel a bit overwhelming. My best tip with that is, again, go do your research and have a look. There's so many different types of meditation. And I personally believe there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's such a personal thing, isn't it? So it's just finding what works for you.
100%.
And also just like anything, practicing and finding your vibe with it, basically.
Can we just add to that before we move on, is when people say to me about meditating, where do I start? There's loads of apps out there, aren't there, that people can get access to. But the other thing I say is YouTube. Just go into YouTube, type 10-minute meditation, and then just put in relaxation or sleep or morning meditation or whatever it is that you want right there in that moment. Just type into YouTube 10 minutes meditation, and quite often you get guided meditation. So I guess for anyone out there who might be a beginner, then that's probably a good place to start, is maybe a guided meditation. And exactly like you say, you will find something that fits for you. You'll find voices that you resonate with. Some people I like listening to, some people don't resonate with me. And it is just literally exploring, isn't it, to see what works, because it's quite a personal thing, I think, meditation, isn't it?
It's so personal, and it's just finding your groove with it. That's all.
Oh, thank you for sharing. So, we've completely gone off piece, but I think that was...
We like that. We do that, don't we?
We do. So back to the 7 habits in the morning. So
mine might not be 7, but my personal miracle morning is, reading. We talked about that, meditation, affirmations. So again, for those who are not aware of what affirmations are, they're just positive, affirmative statements that you kind of say to yourself, for things that you want to manifest or create into your life. Again, it can be a little bit out there for some people, but the effects, and there's lots of studies been done about the effects of kind of using affirmations to just create that sense of inner well-being, and it's just really, really beneficial for somebody. And also the thing to understand is that we talk to ourselves all the time, day in and day out, don't we? So it's nothing different. Normally that inner voice is negative. So it's just actually taking some time to practice and kind of almost coaching our mind to be more positive and to affirm those things.
And they say, don't they, is be careful of your thoughts when you're alone and be careful of your words when you're with others. And that's exactly what we're saying about affirmations is they say on average 70,000 thoughts we have a day. And like you say, some of those can sometimes be negative or self-destructive or just not even, they might be outdated opinions that just subconsciously wired. Whereas if we do affirmations, we're often saying I am, and whatever we put after the two words I am, we become, don't we? So by having the power of those two words and then putting a sentence after it, that affirmation then becomes so powerful, like you say, if we practice it daily and have it as part of our miracle morning.
Absolutely. And then, so affirmations, again, for those who want to maybe explore that and find out more about it, there's so many books about affirmations and so much research you can do online about them.
And I guess on that as well, because there's going to be people out there at the minute that maybe are feeling uncertain, maybe feeling scared. So if they're subconsciously thinking I'm scared, it might be worth them doing an affirmation that I am healthy, I am happy, I am exactly where I need to be right now in life, and just even if it's just basic affirmations like that, just to soothe the soul and ease the mind in times of uncertainty, would you say?
Oh my goodness, 100%. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I think whenever you start introducing yourself to empowering habits that help your mind and your soul, kind of doing that inner work, it might feel, again, a bit alien at first, but I would highly recommend people just give it a go and stick to it for whilst they are in isolation, actually, perfect amount of time, because in that time, I almost guarantee they'll start seeing even the smallest of benefits, and you'll just feel better. If nothing else, that's worth it in itself. Just kickstarting your day on that note is powerful. And also it depends obviously what people believe in, but if you kind of, and again, there's been lots of studies of this, that everything in the world is energy, right? So again, where we're vibrating in terms of our mindset and kind of our feelings, our emotions are an indicator, aren't they, about where our vibrations are lying at that time. And honestly, it can make such a difference as to what we're experiencing in our outer world. So looking after what's going inside is so important, because that's just going to be reflected out. And I've definitely have just experienced so many benefits from starting my day, kickstarting it in this way with all those different things.
Wow. So there's 3 things that you do there every day. So you read 10 pages of a book.
Yeah.
And you do your affirmations.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then meditate.
And you meditate.
And then I visualize. Again, it's another great thing to do, thinking about, it's all in the name of lifting your vibrations and making you feel joy, because ultimately that's the whole point, isn't it?
And it could be just right now people are visualizing going back to normality and going back to their routine that they feel like they're missing, and that happiness that, that's been stolen by fear, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's visualizing that happy lifestyle again, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And also what's the other thing I do, and I know a lot of people that I've spoken to find it very therapeutic and very just soothing, like you said, is journaling. Putting down, I know you have found journaling in the past, we've had conversations where it's just putting your thoughts down on paper can just give your mind such a sense of release sometimes, and just, doing that mind dump or having those ideas that, creative ideas, write them down. It's just such a good way to just journal how you feel when you start your day.
And, I haven't told you this yet, but recently when I've been journaling, I've been getting poetry come through, which is totally unlike me, which you've known me for a while now, and I've never ever written poetry before in my life, but journaling has led me into creative writing. So we just don't know what's in us until we start, do we? And it's just starting somewhere, isn't it? And creating those daily habits, like you say, and then just letting it evolve.
Absolutely. So yes, so that's kind of what I would recommend about the second top tip, is to not only schedule your time, but also have an empowering way that you start your morning. Call it a miracle morning or whatever, resonates with you. And you know what it is as well. And this is all in line with all these top tips we're sharing that hopefully, is going to serve somebody listening to this, is, and I forgot to say, very important, within the miracle morning is exercise.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about that, because I know you talk about that quite a lot, and that's really important to you, isn't it?
100%. Again, there's been so many studies that have shown and proven how much exercise lifts, packs our bodies full of endorphins, and the difference in mood that can make. Even just, 20 minutes of a bit of exercise could change someone's, just attitude straight away, and mood, and just give them that uplifting feeling. So I personally tend to do my exercise as part of my miracle morning. This is going to lead into the third tip. But especially right now, there's so much out there available. Yes. So I would urge people on this podcast to, reach out and look at all the stuff that all these amazing fitness professionals are giving out basically for free. So there's so much out there for everybody to plug in. And again, find what works for you. Find your favorite, personal trainers or fitness professionals. Find your style of fitness or exercise that works for you.
And it could be anything from yoga to HIIT training, so high intensity training, or following a program from an online trainer, like you say. It doesn't have to be anything specific, does it? But exactly as you say, it's just something that resonates with people that they can then incorporate into their routine, that becomes a habit rather than a chore.
Yeah, 100%. And more people are doing it now. And my wish is that they take this on after, when we go back to normal life, is go for a walk, around the block. I know we're limited to what we can do, but even just being outside and going for a walk, the combination of the exercise plus being outside just can be so beneficial again. With what we do. And all of these things, the one thing I would say with all these top tips, it's all about using this time. We've been given the gift of time, and time is the most precious commodity that we could ever ask for. Money comes and goes, even health, I would say. And I put health as one of my top priorities, but even health, that can come and go. But time you can never get back. So we've just been given a wonderful gift. And I think it just comes down to how we choose to think about this. So yes, this is not downplaying, the uncertainty that people are feeling, the fact that we are in a global crisis, that is not going to be downgraded in any way, but it does make a difference of how we choose to think about the perspective we choose to take during these challenging times. Will make such a difference on how we're gonna come out on the other end. So choosing to just focus on the crisis side, or choosing to see this as an amazing opportunity of time. And then all of these things, again, because we've been given this wonderful opportunity to slow down, of time, we're probably a little bit more present, is an opportunity to create empowering habits. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes, again, most people feel resistant to change a routine because, again, when we're in normal life, we've got a set routine. Most of us don't have we don't have time. And so it is when we are rushing here and rushing there, it's very difficult or challenging to make empowering changes and keep habits that are going to empower someone. And I think this time is so perfect to create those empowering habits for yourself, because, a lot of people sometimes, I think there's a misconception that to create a habit, an empowering habit that's going to serve you is going to take a lot of effort. Now, yes. Do you know what is so interesting? It's like, yes, it will take effort initially, just that kind of threshold. But once something becomes a habit, it takes no effort to do.
It's the norm, isn't it? And it's just in your subconscious and you just go away about your day doing it, don't you?
That's it. It's just being able to push through that threshold of initial effort that it takes to make something a habit. And right now, what better time to create those more empowering habits? And it can be those small little choices that we make to choose differently to, serve us more than probably the habits that don't.
Yeah. The destructive habits rather than the habits that, like you say, they serve us, those empowering habits that create the life we want to lead.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, and then, with these empowering habits that people are going to implement, by the time we're back to normality, they are going to be habits. So it's just going to be something that they'll be able to take using this time to take these empowering habits moving forward for a lifetime, So yes.
Awesome. So tip 2, miracle morning and empowering habits.
Absolutely.
Love that. Which probably leads us quite nicely on to tip 3, doesn't it? And
yeah. Completely.
How to connect with people outside our homes and isolation.
Yeah, I do. The tip 3 that I wanted to talk about today is all about what you just said, Lisa, connection and community. Another thing that more than ever, it is vital to have a sense of community. Being part of something bigger than yourself is actually been shown to be one of a basic human need.
Yes.
It's how the human race has survived, being part of a community. And I think, again, with what we said earlier about all the online fitness classes available, there's so much out there for people to plug into, to get that sense of community. It can make such a difference to someone's mental and emotional well-being to feel part of a community. And actually, one thing I would say is, if anybody wants to find me on Instagram and connect with me, well, if you want to ask me any questions, I'm available to answer them as well. But actually, something we're doing within the community that I have, within the business that I run, we're actually offering to anybody out there every single day so many different online fitness classes and workshops and community-based things that people can plug into. So, reach out to me, follow me on Instagram, and you'll see all the information on my Insta story. So please, 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 reach out, because it's all there for you, and we would love to serve you in any way we can.
So what's your Instagram name that people
that would help, wouldn't it?
That would help. We'll put it in the show notes as well, but let's tell people right here in a moment in case they want to look you up.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's Vanessa Campbell P. P for Papa. Vanessa Campbell P, all one word. It would be great it's all there for you. So yeah, please reach out, please connect.
What a lovely gift to offer people right now. And the community, it's all free, isn't it? The online stuff.
All free. Yeah. Absolutely. Completely.
So why wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes you just don't know. I think community just goes so much beyond about what it can do to someone's mindset. You just don't know, who you're going to meet through a community, and also what you're going to learn that could propel your life in such a completely positive way. So, it's just so beneficial for people to definitely utilize at this time what's out there.
And it goes back to time again, doesn't it? And we've got the gift of time to be able to learn right now and be able to look and see what classes we want to take or what interests we want to do that we've perhaps not done because we haven't had the luxury of time in the past. So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Should I move on to my again, in the name of time, my fourth top tip is to get up and show up. Again, in this time, it's so easy, isn't it, to not even, change from our pajamas and to not brush our hair, which actually I was guilty of yesterday. But it's the easy thing to do. But let me tell you, every time I have made that choice to not, it has made such a negative impact to my mindset and my drive and how productive I have felt during the day. Actually, my partner is such a wonderful example of this. He works from home at the moment. He's able to do that. And every morning, he actually has a uniform. And he gets up and he wears his uniform every morning when he sits in his office at home, in his home office, to do his work. So it's just, and I asked him the other day, I said, I'm so proud that you're doing that. And he said, it really puts me in that frame of mind. So he's found he's actually more productive when he's in his job's uniform to actually go and do the work at hand. He's more productive. He feels better. He's in kind of work mode. So I would highly recommend that. Also, it just feels good to, have a shower, put your makeup on, ladies, or men if you want to, put jewelry on, do your hair. It actually will put you in such a great place to go out and do whatever you want to do for your day.
What an amazing tip. And food for thought there.
Yeah, definitely. And then I suppose the final top tip, I'm pretty sure. Yes. Yeah. The final top tip I want to share is, we talked about how it's so interesting during these really challenging times. It's all about how we choose to think about it and the perspective we choose to take on it. And this time could end up being the most perfect opportunity for people. So a lot of people right now are in a situation where they've either, perhaps lost their jobs, or if they're self-employed, obviously have lost that stream of income. I mean, I have a lot of friends in that situation. And from my understanding and what they've shared with me is that there has been quite a bit of help for the government, from my understanding. So that's obviously fantastic news. But what I would say, or even people that might be absolutely fine in terms of they still have their job and they're working from home, but might not feel fulfilled in their job at the moment.
And that's really interesting you say that, Vanessa, because I've been talking to people quite a lot over the last few weeks as well. And some of my clients I coach, they've been saying, I've been put on furlough, which is a scheme in the UK where they're not working, but they're getting paid a certain amount. Or they might be working from home and they're saying, do you know what? I've actually had to slow down over the last couple of weeks since we've been in isolation. And it's really made me think about what I want to do with my life and take that opportunity to say, I don't want to do this anymore. So 100%, a lot of people are doing that self-reflection right now.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And they're using this time. That's what happens, isn't it? When we're given that, when the brakes are, well, we have to put on the brakes a bit. It gives us time to realize, is this what I truly want? When we're in the hustle and bustle of life, we're kind of just on almost autopilot a little bit. We just go from
go.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, again, gift of time to just sit and reflect. So what I would say is I just urge people to take this opportunity to think about what is it that they want and to be creative, go online and research. What was it like? What is some of your passions? Could you turn that into something that provides you and your family with an income? What other ways are there out there that you can create income streams? There's so many different ways that you can. And actually, in this day and age, in today's economy, and as the current events have shown to us, it is vital that people have multiple streams of income. The scariest place I believe you could ever be in is having just one stream of income, because obviously life, as life has it, tends to throw us some curveballs from time to time. And, this situation has proven exactly that. And none of us would ever been able to predict this. So it's just important right now. I think what a perfect opportunity to look at what else is out there. How else could you create an additional income stream for yourself and your family?
And it's not too late, is it? Because if someone's sat out there listening to this podcast thinking, well, I have lost my stream of income overnight and I wasn't proactive to have a couple of streams of income, or I have lost my job overnight, or I'm self-employed and my income stopped for the time being. It's not about saying, well, you should have thought about it earlier, because it's not. We're here to help now and give you hope that actually you can make the change from today.
Absolutely.
To future-proof your life. And it's about, making that choice today, isn't it? To go and take a look as to how you can, either turn something that you're passionate about into a stream of income, or get multiple streams of income, which we're going to share how we can do that with people, aren't we? So it's about making sure people out there listening feel hope from this conversation, rather than just like, well, I missed that boat, because you haven't missed any boats. It's the reset button, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And this, this could be, the fact that someone maybe has lost their stream of income overnight could be the most wonderful blessing, because it's going to give them that opportunity perhaps to choose to be creative and go out and create a business out of something they're passionate about maybe and always wanted to do. And I just think this is something I'm so passionate about. We live our lives like we're immortal. We live our lives that there's almost like we have no expiration date. And we do.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so passionate about time being so precious. And so many of us live our lives or spend so much time doing things that don't give us joy and bring us joy. And I think living on purpose, finding things that fulfillment is another basic human need. Yes. If that is missing from your life, something, you might not be able to tell what, but it will feel like something's missing. Yeah. So taking this time to be courageous. This is a call for courage right now, to take that leap of faith and be like, you know what? I've always wanted to ... fill in the blank. Yeah. Let me see what's out there. Start putting those cogs in motion. See, be creative, do your research, take that leap. Because there's
even just tie into the journaling. Just start journaling and see what comes through. What do you love? What you're passionate about? Right? Do some brainstorming. What is it that makes my heart sing? And what types of businesses are out there could I create? Can you create an online course, something like that? And I'm probably stealing some of your thunder because I'm getting excited about it too, because I'm on the same page as you. It's about doing something you're passionate about, rather than doing perhaps a job for 40 years and then looking forward to retirement and then not being able to enjoy it, which is I learned that lesson from my grandparents, because they saved all their lives, worked so hard. And then the minute my gran retired, she got Parkinson's disease, and she couldn't enjoy any of the money that she'd worked so hard over the years to earn. And it is, it was a really, really powerful lesson for me growing up. And another one that my dad taught me, because he set up his own business after being made redundant. And, the first couple of years were kind of hard, and have I done the right thing? Should I go back into employment? And once he got his business going, he felt so free, and he had a family to support. So there were scary times, but he kind of taught me that, life's for living and not just waiting to retire. And he ended up loving what he did. He was his own boss, and he could support the family from a time perspective as well as from a money perspective. And he got that fulfillment out of his job as well. So I kind of learned that from my family growing up. And yeah, so I'm really passionate about it too. So we could talk forever about it. So let's give people some tips on how they can start exploring those options of different streams of income, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, and again, this time has shown us that this more than ever, this is very relevant, is looking at online businesses. I personally, for me, the way that it worked for me personally, and what worked for kind of my my schedule and my life and what I wanted to create was finding a online network marketing business and building a network marketing business online whilst still working my career. And to me, it proved to be one of the best decisions I've made. Purely because, especially in what we're experiencing now, more and more people are actually understanding the power of having a business that they can do online, where it's not affected by these current situation that we're experiencing. So definitely I would say, if you're curious about network marketing, I'd highly recommend you go and do your research and look at companies that network marketing companies that are doing exactly that to be able to see if it is something for you or not. And
network marketing is a bit of a funny one, isn't it? Because some people either love it or some people are either kind of scared of it because they think, oh, it's just a pyramid scheme. And, you can read some story, if you Google anything, you can read some horror stories, and it's like, what you go looking for, you find, don't you? So I guess with network marketing, it's probably not going to be for everyone, but if you're curious, then speak to someone who's in network marketing, because I always remember one of the things you said to me is never take advice from someone who's not where you want to be. So everyone will have an opinion, which is great, and take on board those opinions, and, loved ones will have an opinion too. But if you wanted to open a florist shop, you'd go and speak to someone who's done it, wouldn't you? You wouldn't go and speak to someone who's, I don't know, got a completely different career. So it's the same with the network marketing, is reach out to people who are in that area and speak to them and understand their experiences, and then make your decisions for yourself, is what I would say on that. Which I guess is what you did when you built your successful network marketing business.
I absolutely did. One thing for me is I made sure I made an informed decision based on fact rather than opinions. And, it can absolutely, I think the other important thing is to find a company that is in line with your values. If you are looking at network marketing as a type of another income stream, my best advice is to really look at the companies and what they stand for, and if they match your values. That's so important. But there's so many other ways that you can build multiple income streams. It's thinking about what you're passionate about. Is it something that maybe up to this point you thought of it just as a hobby? Again, I bet you there's somebody out there who has taken that, what you classify as your hobby, something that you're passionate about, and has actually been able to create an online business through that, or, you know, has been able to have, you know, that create that additional income stream, but still, you know, have that sense of fulfillment. So
and there's so many platforms, aren't there, today, like the online course platforms. There's so many of them that even if it is just a hobby that you wanted to then say, well, I'm going to create a course out of this and show people, I don't know whether that's crocheting or drawing, or, you know, create an online course and create that community that you can then sell to people across the world, sell your skills, sell your passion in the form of a course. And there's different ways, isn't there? But it's about having that open mind to get creative and think, well, how could I possibly do this, rather than I can't.
Yes.
It's turning our can'ts into cans, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's thinking, I think our brain tends to by nature think I can't, but it's again, it's all practice, is training our brain to, instead of thinking that I can't, how can I? Yes. You know, that was one of the best advice someone ever gave me was, you know, just ask the question, how can I? Ask an affirmative question. You might not know the answer. Do you know what? That's okay. The answer will come. Again, our brain is designed to find solutions to problems. Yeah. So if you ask in a positive way, how can I? How can I? Trust me, the answer will present itself. It will come to you. Because your brain will find out. It has to. So absolutely, you know, this is the time more than ever. We've just been given this wonderful gift of time, and, you know, choosing to utilize this time as a gift for yourself and your loved ones will probably be the best thing you'll do for your future self. So I'm just going to, like, I guess the final thing to leave people with is, you know, do something during this time that your future self will thank you for. Wow. It's, I try to live my life by.
What an amazing comment to finish on. And it is so true, isn't it? Because all we've got control over is the present. We haven't got control over the past and what's gone. We can't change that. And our future, the only reason why our future is going to change is if we do something now in the present. And it's those daily steps, isn't it? So it's doing something today, exactly as you say, Vanessa, that your future self will thank you for. It is, you know, all the tips that we've shared today, they're such wonderful tips. So having the routine, doing the miracle morning, your meditation, your affirmations, your exercise, getting up, showing up, and then just exploring extra streams of income, whether that's because you feel like you want an extra stream of income, or, you know, from another company that you can't, you know, partner with, or whether that's something you're passionate about. And your future self is going to thank you for implementing some, if not all, of those tips that we've shared today. And life can only change for the positive, can't it, if we implement some of these tips that we've shared today?
Well, that's just, you know, that is my wish from today, is that even if we've discussed one thing that positively affects one person, then today has been a good day.
It's a very good day. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing these tips. It's so wonderful to have you on the show. You know, Vanessa's a very good friend of mine. You know, she is a professional performer, which I love, and I love watching, you know, everything that she does. I follow her online, but also the fact that, you know, she is an inspiration to people, to show them, she's a leader, to show them how, you know, we can change our lives, or, you know, and get our future selves to thank us for what we do. So, if you're not following Vanessa already, then I definitely recommend you reach out to her. And is it Vanessa Campbell P? Do you just want to spell that? So Vanessa, VANESSA.
Yeah. And then Campbell, like the soup. So CAMPBELL, and then P for Papa.
Fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today. And yeah, what wonderful tips that we've shared with everyone. So I'm Lisa Victoria, your host for Alternative Health Tools. And if you like what you've heard today, then please feel free to share with anybody else. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and anywhere else that you get your podcasts from. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.